Well, we made it through the new year, and new year, new traditions, and we'll go with the Pop Tarts Bowl to start with. So it's something about a live sacrifice on national television. It really kind of gets you in the mood for college football. We talk about that. We talk about what happened with Cam Ward, and what our thoughts are. Him getting the record for most touchdown passes ever, and then leaving at halftime. Was it really warranted? We discuss what happened with Texas A&M, really just the SEC, just kind of face planting, and not just the SEC, but the ACC. The ACC has looked terrible this bowl season, and we discuss that and much, much more. If you like what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, wherever you may get your podcast. Just listen, leave a comment. We'd love to talk to you guys, so let's have some fun. Welcome to the number one local sports podcast in Central Florida. This is Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capperson. I'm here with Dorian Cody
Hello, hello.
and BJ Thomas.
Well, that Miami Hurricane quarterback is a piece of shit.
I was going to bring that up, and I'm glad you did. So,
You're welcome.
my thought is he a bigger piece of shit for playing at all? Because he could have
Yeah,
not
just
played.
sit. Just sit. Because it seems like you were willing to risk your kneecaps for a record, but you weren't willing to risk your kneecap to keep your teammates in the game in the second half.
Now, did his teammates know that ahead of time?
I don't know. I don't agree with it. If you're trying to protect your knees in a meaningless game, don't play. I don't
Yeah.
see it. I don't see how it's complicated.
Yeah.
But you want to get in there and get your little touchdown pass, which is probably going to be broken by Oregon's quarterback anyways. Whatever.
Yeah,
I think in either case it's damned if he played and damned if he didn't play. So
Well, if he didn't play, it wouldn't have looked as selfish. Now it
and,
looks
yeah,
doubly selfish.
and if he didn't
yeah,
play, you know what it would look like? Every other player out there.
yeah,
If Cam Ward
Yeah.
does not suit up for that game, no one says a word.
yeah. This is what I think. I think that the reason I wouldn't be surprised if they pressured him to play because if he would have sat out, there could have been some other players been like, "Well, I'm going to the job too. Maybe I should sit out."
Yeah, you should. Like, well, this isn't a conversation. If you were good enough to be drafted in the first 5 rounds of the NFL, and you're going to play in a meaningless bowl game, let's just call it what it is. If it's not the playoffs, the games are meaningless. Don't play. Just don't play.
Yeah, I don't see what the complication is here.
No.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want to talk to somebody about should I play or should I not play, you can call up the Big Ten Network. They've got their hotlines all out there. It's out in public. Talk with Jake Butt. He works for the Big Ten Network today. The reason why he works for the Big Ten Network and not playing for the Denver Broncos because he blew out his knee in a game that didn't matter against Florida State in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, but that's borderline a lottery ticket. How many guys blow their knee out a week?
Fair. Now
Like, so I don't like that analogy. He's one of the most unfortunate. Him and the linebacker for Florida State played for the Cowboys. Super fast. Oh no,
Jason
no,
Smith.
not
It
Florida
was
State.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Jalen Smith.
Yeah,
Like that's it's a terrible lottery ticket. It doesn't happen frequently. It's just a terrible thing that happened, and you can't. I mean, like if they had that attitude their whole life, they never would have played football.
True. Now and both Smith and Bud were drafted. They just were never the same.
Right, but I'm saying, if you have that mentality, you would have never picked up a football.
Mhm.
So are you saying that players should play in bowl games?
I mean, if I'm paying you, yes.
I
yeah.
do think there needs to be a stipulation in the NIL money that if
Mhm.
you're receiving NIL money, then that should be tied to performance of some kind. Okay. Now that's up to the boosters to put that in there. If they say, "Hey, look, we're going to pay you for the time that you're here," and the last bowl game of the year doesn't matter, of your career doesn't matter, fine, sure.
Mhm.
Because you got guys who will play bowl games. The guy from Oklahoma, I forget the quarterback's name, not Jackson Arnold, but the guy who played the freshman. He was there. He was there getting reps. He got NIL money, but he didn't have a choice to opt out because where's he going to go?
Right.
Now, my biggest issue, and I'm not going to say this is ruining college football because I'm not an online jackass. I'm a jackass in real life. Is they need to fix the portal. They need to fix the timing of the transfer portal. They basically need to say, we'll let the whole season play out, not just the
Mhm.
regular season. Let the whole season play out, and then open it up the day after the national championship game.
I agree.
Because having guys going back and forth and not knowing where they're playing, whatever. No, like you played this season, you're committed to this team for this season, and you play this season. If you transfer out, that's cool because again, these kids are under 1-year contracts. You don't like it, give them 4-year contracts. But
Mhm.
they're on 1-year contracts, so put the portal at the complete total end of the season.
Mhm. No, I agree.
So, but I will say this: that while the Pop-Tarts Bowl was meaningless, it was fun as hell.
Yeah, it was amazing. So Miami's backup quarterback, Emory Williams. Um, like I do agree. Like I wish in many ways Cam didn't play, so we get a whole game of Emory Williams at this stage to see if it's worth going to the portal. Because I heard rumors that before Beck, the quarterback from Georgia, who's now going to the draft, that Miami was tampering with him to lure him away from Georgia to come to Miami. Because obviously, if you're going to look for other quarterbacks, that means that you don't believe in the quarterback that you do have,
Mm-hmm.
or you think that he's missing some steps. So, so
Well,
for Emory Williams, I wanted him to have this whole game to kind of prove that he can be the starter next year. But
I mean, look at Michigan for example. So Michigan plays tomorrow afternoon. Actually, they're going to get
Mhm.
just steamrolled by Alabama. We're picking that game later in the show.
I think we just
So
did.
yeah, I did. um, so they're bringing in Bryce Underwood as a true freshman. Okay, Alex Orji is done. Alex Warren, I don't think should have played another game. I think it should be like his swan song, beat Ohio State, get your statue, fine. So they've got Jaden Davis on the roster, and they are bringing in another quarterback. I forget who, to basically be a mentor and a bridge quarterback. So they're using the game tomorrow as a way to see, okay, Jaden, what do you have? Do you have enough in you to compete for the starter while we get Bryce Underwood up to speed because he's just a true freshman? Or, not. To me, that's what bowl games are about.
Mhm.
Especially now with this whole transfer and opt out. It's like, hey, what do we have? To your point, had Cam just said, you know what, screw it, guys, it's been great. I'm going to be the top 2 pick in the draft. I ain't ruining my knees. Cool. Go see what the other guy has.
Mhm.
Because when Cam Ward left, I think they threw 5 passes after he left.
Yeah,
That does the team no good.
right.
Or if Cam had said from the very beginning, "Hey, I'm opting out. I'm going to the NFL. I'm just getting ready," then the backup could have had first teams reps, practice those full 2 weeks, and seen what he could have done.
Right. Right. Well, Um, yeah, and also Miami's defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. So it's like even if even if Emory Williams had a solid game, I mean it's going to be trumped over Miami's inability to stop to stop first downs. I mean, I think we were like in the like 99th, what? No, I think we're like 99th or something and like third down conversions for stopping people. Like we were just terrible this year on defense. So I wasn't shocked when those losses we had because they were always dogfights. They were making bonehead plays on defense that will bail out the other team. So
And that's coaching.
yeah.
I mean, that's what it's one thing to not have the talent to be able to stop them. It's another for penalties or blown assignments, and that's what was going on over the weekend. I mean, it
Mm.
wasn't just he was third and three, we're getting up a 4 yard pass play. No, it was blown assignments, 40-yard passes
Yeah,
all of the time.
yeah.
So and that's coaching. And Cristobal, he got lightning in the bottle with Cam Ward. I
Hmm.
don't think he's going to do it again. So you're not going to be able to score teams. So you need to play fucking defense.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that he had the balls to come out and say everybody in and around the state can clearly see the trajectory of this program versus the others. And it has been downhill ever since.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, just shut up. Just let's go to the next game,
Get on the
man.
coast,
No,
man.
no, we got to talk about it.
Yeah. Because what I'm seeing next year for the state of Florida, Florida's going to be good. Florida's going to be solid. And of course, I mean, FSU has no choice but to go up from here, right? So, everybody's going to get better. Like everybody's going to tap into the transfer portal. So,
Well, speaking of the transfer portal, can we just like transfer Texas A&M back to like Saturday afternoon, back to when they before they broke BJ's heart? BJ
Who
had a
broke my
parlay
heart?
with A&M, and they what
Oh,
twenty
yeah.
four seven.
I went to bed. I went to bed. They came out of halftime, scored a quick touchdown. And I was like, oh, yeah. I went to bed and I did my rollover thing because I start on one side, then I roll over to the other. So I roll over. They're up 24-7. I went to sleep all comfortable, believing things are wonderful. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to take a leak because I'd been drinking. And Texas A&M was lost by four, 35-31. By the way, the spread was 3.5.
mm.
Yeah, so like fuck all of me.
Damn. Sorry, bro.
Don't be sorry paying him his $100 he lost.
So,
Sons of
man, it's
bitches.
crazy.
So we've had a chance to end this topic, but let me ask you guys this: do these games actually matter? Like, as fans, is there anything that we can get out of these games?
I would say yes to the players who are trying to improve draft stock.
Okay.
Hmm. I agree. Yeah.
So, from a conference perspective, does your record in bowl games matter?
I mean, I think it counts towards the prestige of the conference, especially the SEC. Like, hey, you coming into, the conference, some people believe in. Look at the teams that we have in bowl games. Look how we dominate against other opponents, right? I mean, they can use that as a prestige factor.
Okay. I know, like the SEC and Big Ten, ironically, will go back and forth with better records in both seasons. It's normally neck and neck. I think we ran it last year. It was fairly neck and neck. I bring this not so much from the SEC Big Ten perspective, but does it matter that the ACC, with 3 games to go, by the way, is 1-9?
Mm. I mean, it just the it, I think the transfer portal and NIL deals and stuff, it's starting to straighten up the playing field, right? Which as fans, that's what we want, right? I mean, the SEC's been dominating since God knows when, right? So now we're starting to see an even playing field now. The Big Ten is coming on strong. So that's something as fans that I believe we want to see. We want to see that competitive balance.
Yeah. Now, coming into today, I've got the numbers here. I don't have it on the computer. The SEC was 4-3, and the Big Ten was 4-2 coming into
Mm-hmm.
today. That does not count the Iowa Missouri game. That was actually a good game.
Mm-hmm.
That Missouri pulled out, so the SEC is now 5-3, and the Big Ten is 4-3. So, like I said, they normally kind of go back and forth. But for the ACC to have 2 teams in the playoffs, 2, and be 1-9 with 3 games to go.
Mm. You know, uh, I mean, is it safe to say this is the SEC's down year, right? Or is it safe to say that all the other conferences are coming up.
Do you think I'm saying the SEC? I'm saying the ACC. I'm saying like
Oh,
Clemson,
it's the
Florida.
ACC.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's the ACC.
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, no, the
Selective
ACC.
hearing.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't want to count his Miami loss.
Yeah, I mean, but we said before, but before the season started, we said that the ACC sucked, right? We said that I think some of us picked Clemson to come out, and some of us picked at the beginning of the season.
I have it
It
here.
was another team,
Yeah,
but
it was Florida State and Clemson is who we had.
yeah, Florida State, Clemson. So
Yep. Okay, so I had Florida State. You had Clemson. BJ, do you remember who you had winning the ECC?
Syracuse.
Damn right. The one team that's won the bowl game.
Yeah.
so
I put money on them to win it. I thought there was going to be a big difference.
Hey,
There has not been.
hey, you tell you what. I wonder if they made the playoffs, would they have done better than Clemson?
I don't know because I'll be honest with you, Syracuse can't stop anybody either.
Okay.
I mean, Washington State for having a practice squad out there scored way too many points.
Yeah.
mhm. Yeah, I think honestly, I think this season, I think the ACC took a page out of the old Big 12 playbook as far as defense, right? Because even I think SMU was considered to have the best defense in the ACC, and they got cooked. So
Yeah, and I think it does go back to what you were saying before about the playing field. Um, the problem is kids in the ACC in the Atlantic Coast Conference are looking around going, "Look, I can play at Penn State. I
mhm,
can play at Florida. I can play at Vanderbilt, at Indiana, at Ohio State. Why the hell am I here?"
mhm,
And and the coaches are like, "Hey, look, $500,000. Come on, we'll take you."
mhm,
And it's been an exodus of talent from the ACC, and
yeah,
I don't see it getting any better.
yeah. That's that's it. So the ACC, they're gonna lose their players to the Big Ten and SEC, and then the ACC is going to have to look at these other conferences, like you know maybe the Big 12 or maybe these you know American conferences or wherever it's called. Is it AAC to get players up? It's kind of like it's a tier system. Like you go from the AAC to the ACC, and then from the ACC you go to either the Big 12 or the SEC, depending on how much of an impact player you are.
BJ, what did Bobby Bowden say when he compared the ACC to the SEC?
Oh, he was trying to avoid it like the plague because he didn't think they could make it through.
Mm,
And that was back in the 90s.
mm, yeah.
And that's the thing, though. I mean, like these teams in the ACC, Boston Colleges and NC State, well, they might come up and get you every so often. They're going to be left behind
Mhm.
quickly. And like the days of Florida State being relevant, I think, are almost gone. I mean, we think of because in our lifetime, Florida State's been relevant because Bobby Bowden was there. Bobby
Mhm.
Bowden and Jimbo Fisher were there. That's why they were relevant.
Mhm.
Before that, they were a women's school. They were nothing,
Yeah.
and they're in very clear danger of being irrelevant again. Same with Clemson. Clemson, uh, every so often would pop up, but they were relevant until Dabo got there. It's not the name, it's the coach.
Mm, right.
It's not like Florida. It's not like Alabama. Alabama can get whomever they want and can pay whatever they want. So can
Yeah.
Florida. So
Yeah.
can Michigan. So can Ohio State. And yes, the name does matter. Florida State name doesn't matter. It matters about who's the coach and where can that coach get me? Can that coach
Mhm.
get me into the NFL?
Yeah. So Norvell, has he been fired yet or no?
No.
Okay. So if Florida State's issue, I mean, can you say it's Norvell and the coaching,
Yes.
or did you say
Yes.
okay?
It's decisions, it's team building decisions that have been a
Gotcha.
problem. in my
Gotcha.
opinion.
So finding a coach for Florida State that's a that's a solid team builder and that can get some recruits in basically is the biggest need for Florida State. But here's the key. But the key thing is, in order for Florida State to be able to be that perennial powerhouse that it once was, you have to have the coach with the prestige. And even though all roads point at Dion's not going anywhere. He's not leaving Colorado.
And that's the problem. Is if you're a high profile coach, you either have a job now,
Hmm.
and or if for whatever reason they've run you out of your job, why would you want to go to Florida State?
Yeah.
Because we just talked about it. The ACC is already at a disadvantage. And the perception is y'all can't compete with the top two leagues in college football to start with. Okay. On top of that, yeah, you're in Florida. Great. You're competing against Florida, Miami, UCF, Alabama, Georgia,
Hmm.
Tennessee, all the same kids.
Yeah.
And if one down year kills you for 5 years,
Hmm. It does. Um, I think they may have to. Is there maybe an NFL coach like an offensive coordinator or something? Maybe we can recognize that could be a good head coach at the
I'm
college
not trying
level.
to help them. See what happens to them.
hey, I hear Matt Eberflus needs a job.
Yeah, I like it.
But that's Florida State has to go that route. Because like you said, all the perennial coaches that they would want to have, they're not leaving where they are.
And honestly, okay, if I'm a head coach in the NFL and I got fired, if I'm Ron Rivera, let's just talk about him. Even though he is interviewing for NFL jobs, we can get to that later. If I'm Ron Rivera, and I'm not going to go back to college and coach in the same freaking conference as Bill Belichick. No,
Pussy.
I'd rather take the Jets job.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Man, at least at Florida State, if you suck, you got the Tallahassee Gazette or something that's talking about you compared to if you lose by one to whatever team, the New York media is going to scold you for everything that you didn't do. Right?
Mad Dog's going to have a heart attack regardless of what you do. So just let him bark.
So interesting.
Oh, you boys ready to pick some bowl games?
Let's go.
Oh, why not? That's gone so well.
Yeah. Well, hey, they didn't go as bad as my NFL picks this week, so that's okay.
Ooh,
Um,
I'd love to hear that.
yeah. Well, we'll get to there. We did pick the playoff games last week, so just for recap. So for the Texas Arizona State game, we all picked Texas to beat the 14-point spread. For the Penn State Boise State game, I picked Boise to beat the 10.5-point spread. Y'all picked Penn State. We all picked Oregon over Ohio State. You guys picked Georgia over Notre Dame. I picked Notre Dame. So this week's games, the opt-out bowl that we alluded to earlier, Alabama is a 13.5-point favorite and looking for revenge over Michigan. Not only is it the Alabama players, it's Kalen DeBoer, who Michigan beat in the national championship game last year. This is not going to be pretty.
I'm gonna say Alabama just because Michigan's passing is anemic.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean Alabama might win this game 21-6. It'll beat the spread. I'm going Bama. Okay, South Carolina versus Illinois. One of those Big Ten SEC matchups. Carolina is a 10-point favorite over Illinois.
We'll go with a better defense, South Carolina.
Dorian?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with South Carolina.
I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game. I think Carolina wins. I don't think they beat the spread. I'm going Illinois. Okay, I put this one specifically for BJ because he said a bad word when I told him about it. Baylor versus LSU. Baylor's now a 3.5-point favorite.
I'm gonna say LSU.
Um, I'm gonna say Baylor.
I'm going Baylor because I think everyone for LSU has opted out. Okay. Louisville versus Washington. Louisville is a 2-point favorite.
Louisville.
Dorian?
Um, I've seen Louisville play. I didn't see the Huskies, so I'm gonna go with Louisville.
Yeah, I've seen Washington play. They basically rebuilt that roster from scratch when everyone left, when DeBoer left. Beginning of the season, they were god awful. They've come together, which normally happens when you can actually play games together. And we just got done just trashing the ACC. So I'm going Washington. So those are our guaranteed to lose picks. Just for those who are keeping track at home, first of all,
Mhm.
thank you. Um, Me and BJ are actually tied at 42 and 39. Dorian is right behind at 40 and 41. So don't follow us for college picks. Just don't.
We just don't know.
So especially in these games, because you don't know who's playing, who's in, who's out, who's going to play a half, who's not. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the NFL.